Good afternoon, everyone. We're Aisot. We're transforming asset and wealth management with AI. My name is Stefan Klauser. I'm one of the founders and CEO of the company, and I have the pleasure to explain you here today what do we mean with that, right? It's a big keyword at the moment. Everybody talks about AI, and you sure want to know what does that mean, especially in our context. So there is a trend in asset management, especially with younger generation, that goes clearly towards personalization. Younger people, they want to have a say. Where they invest, what they invest in, how much they want to invest in each asset class, in what titles, which ones they like, which ones they don't like, why. They want to know about sustainability of their investments, etc. So we call this personalization for the masses. But it's really difficult for an asset manager to offer this. Often there is older tools in use, and then you have to manage different accounts at the same time. And if you have to do individual trades for each account, it's going to be very bulky very quickly. And to adopt what we claim is needed, which is AI, to really get a hold on that, this is so challenging. It's technologically challenging, it's expensive, and there is a big shortage on talent. Because nowadays, all the big companies out there, they're fishing for the best AI talents. There are some startups, and we are probably among the lucky ones that can attract the talent as well as because we're working with ETH Zurich and are a spin-off, but it's really hard to get the good machine learners. If you look at adoption of AI in asset management, you see that in the financial industry as a whole, the biggest adoption use cases are still around fraud prevention, optimizing IT, and especially marketing and sales activities. There's quite little going on still in portfolio optimization and personalizing in investments, and this is just kind of use in the sense of that companies started a project around it. That doesn't really mean they have it in production in their everyday operations. At the same time, if you look at asset managers, 95% today believe that AI will be a key differentiator in what they're doing. So we said what the industry needs is an AI-powered platform that is independent and that can help get customized portfolios and to adjust them to market trends in real time. To make this happen, we need a few ingredients. The first ingredient, I've already talked about talent, talked about the team. We need the best people to make this happen. This is, as per today, the team that we're working with, the core team. We have my co-founder and head of R&D, who's still with ETH in some percentage or capacity, working especially directly with Professor Dr. Peter Kolm from New York University on the models, trying to really push the limits of what can be done with machine learning in finance. They also still publish, but a lot of the stuff that we do is actually also proprietary. Professor Peter Kolm was awarded Quant of the Year in the US in 2021, and he has also a long career had in asset management at Goldman Sachs for more than 20 years. Then we have the people to scale this. Roger Payer was responsible for the wealth platform at Avaloq before and worked at Fontobel. And then we have a few very young, very talented machine learning engineers to support the team. We're currently hiring 2 more people that are working on the product. For us, it's good times to hire, right? What is a bit more difficult for other companies, especially large companies that have to lay off people, is luck for us, right? There's a lot of good people on the market at the moment. And we have hired a head of business development. He's not yet on the slide, but we can officially say it now. Nicola Gander is going to join us. He was so far responsible for the digital part of Gen 2, and he will be with us soon. So what does make us unique, right? AI has been around in investments. There is other that are using this as in prop trading. There is a few elements of what we're doing that are not particularly new, but what we think is new is the combination of what we offer. What we offer is that we give access to one of the globally leading AI and quant team, and that we, with the setup that we have built fully in the cloud on modern technology, it's possible for us to take up this new development from this team and make it available in production much quicker. Even if you have a big company that has 250 people that are doing quant and AI research, for them to kind of implement this on a legacy environment is really hard, right? So for them, it's interesting to look at what Aisot has in the offering. Then we can work with the real-time customization and constraints of the customers. We will going to see that in live afterwards in a demo that I want to do with you. And we give access to this in the form of a platform. So we don't just go and say we start our own quant and AI hedge fund. We say, no, this is something that we want to give access to a broader group. So to really get there, we had to go step by step. What we have already in use is an equity product that is based on our machine learning forecast on the US equity market. It's an S&P 500 based product. It's available in the US currently to invest. Then we have first crypto products that will be launched. One of them is still believed to arrive in May, so we have everything ready except the Coinbase Prime account that is still missing to do it. But this is going to be an fully AI-optimized crypto portfolio. I'll say a bit more about it afterwards. And then we launched the platform for direct access by our customers. So who are the customers, right? In the end, at this point, we mostly work with smaller funds, but also with asset managers, some of them external asset managers. We work with investment advisors and some family offices. But it can be interesting also for regional banks, for larger players, etc. Quick preview on the digital asset AMC. What we do here is that we take the views that are generated by the machine learning components, which is forecasting each coin pair, and then takes the correlation metrics and tries to optimize the portfolio according to the inputs that have been selected. This shows very, I would say, almost too good backtesting results. We will be happy if we can follow up on this and reach something in a similar area. If you compare the 460% plus versus Ether as a baseline, or also Bitcoin, it's a clear difference. We have a dynamic cash component that usually reduces the drawdown and makes it even smaller than if you just invested into an Ether or Bitcoin baseline. So this will be available soon. Please come to me afterwards if you want to get registered for the pre-seed or the seed investment part. Okay, to give you an idea, once the platform is ready and we're going into the pre-sale of the platform access, of the beta access in June, you will have the possibility to come there to kind of select your investment universe. At the beginning, it will be purely on cryptocurrencies and equities. We will add new asset classes going forward. And then you get access to risk and return statistics, so metrics around the portfolio that you selected. Then most importantly for us, at the core of what we offer, you have the portfolio optimization tool that is then on your rebalancing date automatically telling you what would be the selected stocks or the selected cryptocurrencies and their weights in the portfolio at each point in time. And then what we also offer is that we offer a custom financial product wrapper, meaning that you can say, okay, now I've found my strategy, my portfolio, please fill this into an AMC. Here we are working with partners, mostly with Gen2 as a securitization partner, and we have a private protected cell company that we can run these AMCs through, so there is no direct counterparty risk involved in this setup. Then going forward, we have partnerships to launch also ETPs, ETNs, and for the ones that want to go really big with their portfolio, also fund solutions in the future. We already have some customers we work with, and their feedback is usually very beneficial for us. If you want to speak to some of them, please let me also know. We have won several awards. Most recently, we have been included in the Wealth Tech 100 list, and we have few collaborations and recognitions. As I said, the setup with Gen2 and MRB, we're part of the ETH AI Center and also a spin-off of ETH Zurich. So what I would like to do with you now, before we go to questions even, is to run through a portfolio in real time with you. So just quickly for us to select, what are you more interested here in the room to see first? A crypto or an equity portfolio? Currently, this is still two different environments. For the directly accessible platform for customers, we will then obviously put this into one environment. But so who wants to do a crypto portfolio? Only one person. Equity? Everyone else. So it's clear. We're going to go with equity. So what do we have here? We start with the backtesting period. Standard we have here from 1st of January 2018. You can clearly see this is quite an ideal backtesting environment because it has very different market phases that are covered. So this is the S&P 500. What I'm going to show you here as a tool is based on the S&P 500. As this is not the full platform yet, there's a few things that are just visible, but we cannot select it here yet. First step, you will select the data inputs. So we can work with anything from market data, technical indicators, over text data, also social media that we have access to and already are applying NLP on top of that, sustainability data, etc. Here, standard, we just have market and technical indicators to start with. Then, if you're a professional customer that has, if you have your own quant or research team, or if you have your own data, you can just drag and drop your files here in a CSV or XLS form. We can even work with different files, but this is just the easiest and most straightforward way to do it. And we can take in your views into the optimization process. Then we can work either with selected titles. So if you have your own portfolio, we can just put the titles in here. Or here, pre-selected, we have just everything that is in the S&P 500. You can also work with different selection of topics that you would like to cover or not. So I would suggest we just leave it in, or is there anybody that has a specific portfolio in mind that you want to check? No? Okay, we'll just leave everything in. And then we go here to the data view. This is just purely an overview of what are the titles that we have in. So if you select technology, for example, then you can select the subsector. Let's just select, what was that? Cable and other pay television providers. And then you just see which companies are in there. This is just a bit something to play around. And you see the total data points that are available in the data set that we're working with here now. At this screen, you can select the rebalancing intervals. So currently, we have here everything from daily, weekly, monthly to quarterly. Maybe we select something in between, weekly rebalancing. 10, 20 titles, so different sizes of portfolio. And then we can also select whether we want it equally weighted or we want a weighted portfolio. And what we will offer soon, when the platform then will also be available, is an AI-based rebalancing scheduler, which means like you would not select a pre-selected rebalancing interval, but you would say, I want the machine to tell me when to rebalance. So we can just, doesn't matter so much here, we just run it now once. And what's happening is, so here for the weekly rebalancing, you would take every week, you have the forecasted list of all the titles in the S&P 500, so that's the return forecast for the next rebalancing phase. What the machine does is to take these titles and then put it into a portfolio. If you have a weighted portfolio, you would have a quant optimization process that optimizes the weights. Otherwise, you would just select the number that you allow to be in the portfolio. And then we run a back test and see exactly what the portfolio would look like. Here you will see at the end, you most probably will see a straight line. This is just because the data here is only until 31st of December 2022, as we kind of only updating this again when we have the product available for direct access. So let's maybe take this benchmark out. It was still in from before, Marathon Oil. Let's maybe take something that was a bit more flat. What could we take? Let's just take something like this to have a better comparison. The green line that you're going to see is the Aisot portfolio. The black line is the S&P 500 as a comparison. And now that we selected the benchmark, which will be the yellow line, United Airlines in that context. What we included here as a post-filtering is an ESG filtering. So afterwards, if you want to exclude titles with a certain score, we can apply that filter, but this will also be available as a pre-input to the optimization. Here it's a post-filtering, it can be a pre-input. I guess you understand the difference. The filtering just filters it out. The pre-input is taken into the optimization process. It takes a bit longer here. The Wi-Fi that I'm in is not super strong, but apparently it's still quite quick because the models here are pre-trained, right? If you would need to train the models on the fly, that would still take a little bit longer. Okay, the United Airlines was not a good pick anyways, but you can still see the portfolio that we created here with you today, which are 20 titles out of 500. It's obviously was a bit volatile during COVID crisis, right? But since then, we would anyway be at around plus 80%, while the S&P was would be around plus 45% at the end of last year. What we can then do is click in somewhere on the graph, and you would then directly see in that week that we selected, we had a 0.64% return. Then we can see which stocks have been in there and what did they contribute to the P&L. So we had Mexican Chipotle Mexican Grill did 2.8%, but then also here NOV was minus 0.9%, etc. So you can then have all this information directly in the screen. What the newer version will have also is some statistical indicators, then also some Pharma French indicators, etc., that are giving you more insights around the portfolio from a quant perspective. So what you can imagine now from this is that if you get access to the tool, that you can select what you want to invest in, and then you will have, on rebalancing date, get a clear view of the stocks that you, and the titles and the weights. You can download this as a CSV, but you will also be able to have an API access where you would directly get the information via API. That's it for me from the presentation, but I'm sure you have a couple of questions to me. We have a few minutes left, so please shoot. Yes.
Add constraints in the beginning.
Microphone.
1, 2, 3. Can you add constraints in the beginning, such as max vol, max drawdown, things like that?
Yes, currently we have integrated this in the crypto on the crypto side, but as we are going to integrate the two, yes, this will be available. So we can here then you can put the target risk volatility that you want. Yes. Max drawdown, yes. I mean, there's a few features that we want to make as a standard from the beginning, and then you have to see what we do at the beginning now with the beta access is that we work with a smaller group of selected companies that will get early access, maybe around 30 to 40 max, and then you can request new features. And as soon as we have a few that request a certain feature, we try to make it available as quickly as possible.
Hi. Thank you so much for the demo. I understand the concept of mathematically rebalancing the portfolio on rebalancing interval. Can you shed some light on what you mean by using AI in this concept? Mm-hmm. Or what is the AI related part as a high level overview?
Yes. So here, for equity at the moment, the AI is mostly return forecasts over the next period of single stocks, right? And then we rank them, and then we would put them into the portfolio. This is what currently is happening here, but we're also working more on the reinforcement learning side. At the moment, we're releasing a lot of new models, and we have let's say, the platform will then also have another point under models where you can actually select which models you would want to apply, whether you would want to go with something more standard like XGBoost, if you want to have a reinforcement learning model that is running, or if you kind of have something yourselves that you would want to apply. So it's, in principle, you have to see, we want to have it as a platform that is covering a lot of different models and approaches, and you can either say you don't care and the machine or the environment should select what fits best, or you can say you want to select a certain approach. What I can explain here, for example, on the crypto side, where we use a bit more of the quant tools as well already at this point, is that we have the forecasts on the coins, which is pairwise forecasted over this next period. Then you have the whole correlation metrics that is underlying, and then you would optimize according to the volatility targets that you select. And then you can include your own views, which then is taken up in a so-called Black-Litterman optimization process that then creates the final outcome. But it's usually always a mix, right, of different tools that we apply. It's not pure AI; it's AI mixed with quant tools. Here in the first row.
When I see the graphics, when the market is going down sharply, the AI is worse than the market. Why?
I mean, what we selected here as an input before, we selected 20 titles, and I had it on equally weighted when we went into this optimization or into this calculation step, which means we don't have any chance to risk optimize the portfolio in what we selected here. So if you have 20 equally weighted long only titles out of 500, you most probably will end up with the portfolio that is more volatile than the benchmark, right? But it depends on the inputs that we give to it.
And second question, if everybody uses your system in a year, the benchmark would be different.
Yeah, that's always a good question, right? For us, it would be a luxury problem, but anyways, in principle, what we say, look, this is not a one output fits all tool. So this is a tool where everyone will have slightly different inputs, slightly different universe, different requirements, etc. So the output is also individual, and it's not everybody is doing the same on the market afterwards. Naturally, there can be some influence, but really, until we have influence on the S&P 500, for example, we need to be extremely big. And then we have strategies what you can do, right? If there is a too big effect, you can just artificially limit access to the same outputs for customers. So then the early ones will certainly have I would say an advantage, and maybe the ones bringing the bigger revenues as well.
Maybe adding on the previous question, I mean, I hear Black Letterman and portfolio optimization, etc. Just to make that sharp, but what's again really the value add you bring? Because if someone can do quant, they can implement this, and you can do this, or this is basically a white labeling offering for others, or you have just whatever you said. I mean, you offer all the models, and you can choose what you do, and it's all hacked for you already, and then you simply profit from it? Or what is the differentiator that you really have with this platform?
I would say it's clearly two things, right? I mean, first of all, yes, that we combine this in a seamless process, right? You can really, in a self-explanatory, interactive environment, you can derive the results that you need, even if you're not a specialist, and you can directly get these even seamlessly wrapped into a product, so that you would not need to handle manage different accounts, but you can just pull that into an AMC, and you can then have the AMC in the portfolios. So it makes life easier, right? And on the other hand, we work with really some of the leading researchers around new machine learning approaches in finance. Naturally, the newest things is not what everybody needs, but they will be available, right? So we have research around new tools, new models, new approaches, also especially now with our specialist in the reinforcement learning space that we can make available that are not available on the market yet. So for the ones looking for top-notch stuff, it will be there. For the others that are just looking for an easy-to-use platform to apply modern quant and machine learning tools, it's also there. We have maybe time for one more question, and anyway, I think is there another session at 2:30 here? There will be one. Okay, then maybe one last. No? Okay. Thanks so much, everyone. Have a good afternoon. Thanks for coming.